Well, good morning, Americans. How are you? Don't you know me? I'm your native son. It's the Boston Cowboy here, casting on my razor life from a beautiful New England. And today being August the 19th of 2026, we got some spectacular news coming out of the nation's capital. It's been making the rounds for the past few days, but it did perk my interest this morning as I was thinking about it. And we got Mr. Trump says the U.S. is going to reduce military drills with South Korea after it stayed out of the Iran war. So, South Korea did not help the United States in this here Iran war. Not sure what they were supposed to be doing. But they apparently, according to Mr. Trump, didn't assist the United States. And so now I guess they're paying the price because Mr. Trump want to scale back the cooperation that the U.S. military and their South Korea military has been drilling on for the past, I don't know, 50 years or so. So let's read a little snippet here. Said Donald Trump has said the U.S. will substantially reduce joint military exercises with South Korea, citing his very good relationship with North Korea leader Kim Jong Un. Now, why would Trump have such a great admiration for Kim Jong Un? Well, let's think about this a second. So Kim Jong Un is part of a dynasty set up by his granddaddy, passed down to his daddy, then passed down to him. Uh, he was basically born into it, right? No election, no voting, no coup, no taking over power, no seizing power. It just here you go, son. Here's the key to the kingdom of North Korea, so to speak. And and so he runs that there nation like it's a corporation. He's the CEO. Everybody else is the workers. Military is his leadership team, and the hourly wage earners are the rest of the public, and they have no so say. They say so. So say so. They do not have a say so in their lives, period. They get up when they're told, they go to work when they're told, they work at what they're told to work at, and it's basically a military prison camp that they either work or they get shot, one or the other. Period. No questions asked. You either join the military, in which you get taken advantage of left and right, or you're a worker, hourly wage worker, in which case you probably will starve to death in that their country. And but that's besides the point. We all know that. But I think what Mr. Trump admires about it is the setup of the hierarchy of their government. See, North Korea people is the model that these would be dictators want to follow. That their country is on lock. They have a picture of Mr. Un in every household living room, bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, everywhere. And they basically got to kneel down to him like he Jesus Christ or God or Son of God. His daddy was the God, and his daddy before him, granddaddy, was the head honcho God in that their country. So they treat him like a God, and if they don't, there's laws set up where they have to treat him such. And I think that's the model most of these would-be dictators want to follow. And it makes sense, right? Because the nation is on lock. They do exactly what they're told. They treat their leader like a god. And if you're a dictator, that's what you want, right? You don't want nobody questioning anything. And when you say, I'm handing this here power of this country down to my son, and then you treat him like a god, so be it. I think I think that's the model United States wants to follow. Okay, and we need to come to terms with that. Uh, this here fella that's occupying this here house on the screen, that's what he want. He want to run this nation perpetually, good or bad, right? Right or wrong, whether you like it or not, whether you like him or not. That's just what he's thinking, right? Uh, he don't have to say it in so many words, but he pretty much has said it uh, in his actions and deeds, and the fact that he thinking on running again in 2028. That just goes to show you, you know what I mean? Like it don't matter what the laws or the rules of the road are. Basically, when you get in that there seat, in that there house, rules be damn, laws be damn. You make them up as you go, and if you don't want to go, by golly, they're not gonna force me out. Period. Period. So let's see what the old Fox News Live got to say about this since they're reporting on it. And I'll give you some thoughts about what I think about it afterwards, but let's see what they're going to say.
Okay, you're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall. Live look at the White House, 7:15 in the nation's capital. We're getting breaking news from President Trump. He's ordering the Pentagon to scale back planned joint military exercises with South Korea. He says South Korea declined to help denuclearize Iran. He's also citing his good relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong Un. He posted this statement on Truth Social. Based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong Un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. These exercises are not only costly, with much of these costs paid for by the United States of America as usual, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it is too late to cancel, I have instructed Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they said, quote, no thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President signs off there at the bottom. Okay, so let's talk about this with retired Marine Intelligence Officer, National Security Analyst, and the host of the Strap podcast, Hal Kempfer. He's here with me. Hal, it was just 24 hours ago that you and I were talking about the president of South Korea speaking about his want to get on a path and start working toward making things a little more peaceful and perhaps even officially end the war between the North and the South. Is it a coincidence that this post from Trump is coming right after the South Korean president said that?
Austin, it's rather interesting that they are juxtaposed like that. I don't know if they're directly related or not. I don't know. I don't know how close of attention President Trump paid to that outreach effort by the South Korean president. But it is rather interesting. This comes right on the heels of it. Kind of throws everything off. Obviously, if anything, it puts a lot of pressure on South Korea to do more in terms of those meetings because now the U.S. support for South Korea seems to have been a little destabilized by those comments. And I have to tell you, the ramifications of what was just said there are rather big. If I was sitting in Ukraine right now, I'd be looking at that, scratching my head, saying, well, there's 50,000 North Koreans that are coming over to fight us on behalf of Russia. And they would be kind of wondering about some of the kind words that President Trump had for Kim Jong Un and his relationship with Kim, but also his relationship with North Korea. So they would point to that. Certainly, Japan would point to it and say, "Well, what about all these missile tests we've had?" And so it definitely is a rather interesting thing. But I think it shows President Trump's frustration that he
How
can't get
important
anybody on board with helping with Iran.
how important are these joint exercises that the U.S. and South Korea work on?
Absolutely crucial, absolutely essential. I've been when I was in uniform, I was involved with multiple exercises over in South Korea. I was stationed in the Far East for a while as well, and I can tell you that is a cornerstone of our security program in the Far East. North Korea is always a major threat over there. Security on the Korean Peninsula is absolutely paramount to what we do in that region. And these exercises are where we go in and we work bilateral, hand in glove with our South Korean counterparts and develop the capabilities that deter the North from doing something. It's our ability to work together so well and so efficiently that really has been a cornerstone of our deterrence posture on the Korean Peninsula. The North doesn't want to do anything because they look at how well we work with the South. They go, these guys are a well-oiled machine. We don't want to try and attack them.
How would you describe President Trump's relationship with Kim Jong Un in 2026?
I find it interesting. He hasn't had they haven't had a summit or a big meeting, but he's citing that. I find Kim Jong Un in 2026 to be, he spends all of his time trying to cozy up to Putin and sending forces over to Russia, and now sending forces to Russia to fight. And now they're not even hiding it; they are fighting directly in the border or on the front lines of Ukraine. So I find it just rather fascinating. I think it's very different from his first term in office. And I found it interesting that he was citing that. I don't see a whole lot really going on there other than Kim Jong Un being Kim Jong Un.
And of course, we're looking at these pictures. This was quite the moment during Trump's first term when the U.S. president, the sitting U.S. president, actually stepped foot into North Korea, visited the DMZ. This was Kim Jong Un and President Trump. And like you said, Hal, I would be curious to see if we eventually do get some sort of summit or bilateral meeting between Trump and Kim at some point during the second Trump term. What are the implications of Trump's post? I've been asking you about what this means for South Korea, what this means for the Americans. Kim Jong Un and the North Korean regime, what are they thinking when they see a Truth Social post like this?
Well, it's interesting. If you look at the language in that post almost looks identical to some language that Kim Jong Un himself has put out about these exercises. That has been a long-standing stance of North Korea. It's what Kim Jong Un puts out. It sounds almost identical to what his father put out and his grandfather put out, railing against these joint ROK U.S. exercises that take place. Team Spirit. Now they're called Ulchi Freedom Shield. I was in Team Spirit, Ulchi Focus Lens, multiple Team Spirits as I recall. So these exercises are a big deal, but North Korea has always pointed to them, say they're provocative, they're threatening, they're antagonistic, all these things, warmongering and stuff like that. And then usually around those times, they do a lot of provocative things like missile tests and all sorts of stuff. And they've used these constantly. I've just never seen the language of North Korea actually put into anything that the U.S. has ever put out, and I just found that rather interesting choice of words.
Now, this is Fox News reporting on this. This is Fox News pretty much saying this is unprecedented. And even in this day and age, to have a sitting president of this country pretty much verbatim posting out and saying exactly what North Korea has been saying about these exercises, that they're costly. And we'll go over that. and destabilize the area. I definitely have heard that come out of North Korea before. So, first of all, are they costly? Well, let's think about that. Since Trump just increased the defense budget of the Department of War pretty much 100% up into the $1.7 trillion area from about $600 billion. So he increased it from $600 billion a year to over 1.6 or 1.7 trillion a year. Okay? That's more than 100% increase. So to say that they're costly, that's not holding any water there. We got plenty of money to take care of whatever they want over there. Hell, we could be doing drills from now until the end of 2030, the end of this decade, and would still be all right. So it's not the money, okay? No, destabilizing the area. So having a drill with South Korea is going to destabilize that there area, right? That we're going to offend Mr. Kim Jong Un and the North Koreans, and they're going to take offense and feel some type of way, and perhaps they feel destabilized. So we're going to pull out to make sure that Kim Jong Un is feeling all nice and cozy. He don't feel threatened none, right? That's the main issue here. We want to make sure Kim Jong Un feels good and pull out. And if he want, he can just walk right in, and we'll probably just watch it happen, right? Like, hey, we told you we're gonna pull. You didn't help us over there in that Strait of Hormuz, so now you come crying to us, and you want us to help you? No, thank you. Right? So we do have, I would say the opposite would happen. If we stop drilling, it will even this gentleman here on Fox News underlined the importance of those drills in that there area for the security of the United States and its partners, right? And to all of a sudden pull back and stop and then announce it. It's one thing if you're going to do that and kind of keep it hush hush and nobody knows, but to announce it is now you're trying to say something to somebody in particular that I'm still on board with whatever plan we got going or whatever. Don't think just because I'm over here doing this that I'm gonna forget about that type of thing, you know. So it does present a couple possibilities, right? In my mind, there can only be a couple things of why, at this point in time, we would want to do this. Well, let's think of it this way: if all of a sudden the United States switched, say it just flat out switched, right, from being the good guys in the world, and now we're going to align with the other fellas. With the other fellas, I mean, yeah, North Korea, right, Russia, right, Cuba, right. We're going to align with these countries that China, that basically have a dictatorship for life, no questions asked. And all of a sudden, we're going to just be strong arming the world, which we have been sort of doing. What would the world, if we all of a sudden said, you know, we're not going to align ourselves with South Korea, we're going to align ourselves with North, we're not going to align ourselves with Europe and Ukraine, we're going to back Russia now. We think we're going to back Russia, right? We're not going to align ourselves with Poland and Finland. We're gonna back Russia and Belarus, right? We're not gonna align ourselves anymore with you know the freedom loving, democratic, uh, benign processes and countries in the world. We're gonna align ourselves with the dictatorships and the legacy of king and royalty and oppression, so to speak. Because that's what we've been told and been taught is these countries are very oppressive places to live. And all of a sudden we got a sitting president who's flipping the script and everybody before him was on board using the same script and he just threw it out and now he's saying, well, I think Kim Jong Un's kind of a nice guy. And Putin, yeah, I kind of like a Putin. So he's flipping the script and basically saying, no, no, we're not going to be no more benevolent power running around. We're going to basically start aligning ourselves. So it's either that, we're getting ready for a big 180 flip here in the United States, or it is something else entirely, right? He may be threatening that, and he may be posting that because it is interesting that this would occur, and then he would post it to let everybody know that this is going on, right? Let everybody know, well, it's a little bit too expensive and it's destabilizing there to good old Kim, my friend. I get along with him and I don't want to offend Kim. So I'd rather offend our partners than our enemies, so to speak. So if we go by the history of what we've been taught and what we have been learning and how the governments operate, right? You would think that we're getting ready to make a big flip, or maybe we're just trying to save money. I don't know, one or the other. But I don't think it's money. So the fact that he say that is a little bit funny. So it's either we're making a flip, or there's something else that's been making the news, right? Good old president family and his sons just been allowed by the SEC there and the powers that be to open themselves there a bank. See, Trump can now open up a bank under the name of whatever he wants, and him being the president gonna tie it in, rest assured, to some type of national security or national debt and restructuring currency and moving. I don't know. See, that's the thing. He there opened this bank, and let's think about that. What can a bank do? Well, banks run on fractional reserve. So I put in my $100. They can lend out that $100 up 10 times. They can make that $100, $1,000 or $10,000, right? And make their money on my $100. And then all that money they make, they give me, I don't know, a little percent, a little 3% on that $100 annually, when they can turn around and fractional reserve that out 10, 20, 30 times. So let's think, right? Trump have his own bank, family bank. He can put all that money in their family bank. And under the banking rules of the United States, he put in a $1 trillion. He can then their fractional reserve out 1 trillion into 10, 20, 30, 40 trillion dollar people. Right? What else can a bank do? It's almost unlimited. The things a bank can do is like damn near magic. Yeah. See, a bank, they can take a little thing called the dirty money and make it into a clean money. Uh-huh. They can move money from this here spot to that there spot without moving the money. They just hit a button on the keyboard and all that money from this place go to that place. There you go. Right? And what do we know Mr. Trump for? Well, Mr. Trump liked those levers of power. He liked to move those levers of power. He liked to touch and lean and press on those levers of power. And him being, the commander-in-chief of this here country, which in essence is the commander-in-chief of the military, he's saying, well, I'm going to order my good old military, I don't want them working with you no more over there, Mr. South Korea. Why? Well, you haven't done me any favor. Simple as that, right? What have you done? Never mind this country. Never mind the past president, because of that, what he said in that there post. All the past presidents have been having these drills with South Korea, and I don't like it none. Why don't I like it? Well, see, South Korea is getting something from this, but I'm not getting nothing from this. Maybe the United States is getting something from this and helping, but I'm not getting something from this, people. And that's what it's about. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, those Qataris, they give old Mr. Trump a big old plane, a big old jet plane, and boom, they're good to go. Israel's, yeah, we'll donate our money to their campaign for 2024 and 2028, and who knows, 2032, and boom, we're good to go. We'll have yourself a little war. You can use our military, right? All of our intel that we collected over the years, all yours. You go. It's an open book for you guys. So what has South Korea done for Mr. Trump? I don't think they've done anything. They haven't made any deal, right? The only deal they made is open some factory in Georgia, right? And that was a little funny thing going on there with illegal immigrants coming in from South Korea, and one of the Georgia Republican people down there called the ICE and said, hey, you better go raid this here factory. That's the one that Mr. Trump wanted them to build down in Georgia, to build those, I don't know, whatever car they're building, the Kia or something, or whatever, I don't know. Remember that? Do you remember that at the beginning of this Mr. Trump term? That was the only thing. That's the last thing I heard of South Korea. Nothing since. So I think Mr. Trump feeling a little bit neglected. Like what? So I wonder what if Kim Jong Un in North Korea had done anything, and maybe that's the point. See, I got this here bank. You, Mr. North Korea, Kim Jong Un, you need a place to wash your money, to put your money legally. You come and use my bank. Put your trillion, 2 trillion, $10 trillion in my here bank, and I will give you Trump coin 2.0 only for you, Mr. And you could use that. That is good as gold. As good as gold, wherever you want to use it. Could be that. Or it could be, South Korea, you haven't done anything for me lately. Well, we want you to put a little bit of that sovereign wealth in my a new bank, right? And that their new bank, then I can fractional reserve out your 10 trillion, 20 trillion into about 100 trillion for my here family. And then my family is just going to go buy up Cuba. And now we own Cuba, right? We're going to actually buy Greenland. It's not Greenland no more. It's called the Trump land. Don't you know that? That's the way this thing is going. Right, wrong, good, bad. See, Economic forces in nature, they don't recognize anything that's good, bad, right, or wrong. They just know a force. And this force here is moving. It's rolling. This rock is rolling down this here hill, and it's about to pummel, that there house, and that there, it's gonna stop up that there river. And if that there river stop up, then all those fish in that there pond are gonna die. But the nature don't know that it's gonna be a good or bad thing. It just know that the force is moving and the forces are gone. And whatever occur after, well, it's just the way it go, accordingly to the rules of nature. See, everything have a purpose. Everything follows from the present day of what is occurring. And what is occurring is our reality of what we thought was reality is slowly being changed by a force of nature. And make no mistake, this is a force here of nature, right? It is. Like everything on this planet is of nature. You and I are of nature. We're not outside of nature. Everything is of nature. And therefore, everything it follows is a force of nature. Me making this video is a force of nature. And what follows from this action of making a video and putting it out, and maybe I have 1 view, maybe 2 view, maybe 10 view, but it then become a force, larger force of nature. And then what follows nature, right? Everything follows from that which came before it, period. So if you know that, at least know that, which is basic, that's basic logic, right? Basic function of nature. Then you can parse out exactly, to a good degree of certainty, where our future is going based on the forces of nature that are occurring right now. Yeah. I mean, if you whiteboard this out, you probably come to a damn near 99% certainty of where we're going to be in about 5, 10, 20 years, based on what is occurring right now. Because we're pretty much at a turning point. I mean, we're at a fork in the road, a big fork. And we can go down this road we've been going down for the past 100, 150 years. Or we're taking a new turn, people, a brand new turn in this road. Has it been set up that way? Has this been in the works for a while now? Well, that's a question. And if we are the most advanced, powerful, wealthiest, strongest, biggest military country that this here world has ever seen in the history of this here world, then you would have to think that this is not by chance. This isn't just a flip of the coin and, oh, well, now we got this guy in the White House and, oh, well, it look like he taking us down this road. We got to go. I don't think they would let this here country up to chance. They wouldn't leave the future of this country just simply a flip of the coin, or which way which way it's gonna come out. We don't know, like what card is gonna turn up next. Well, I don't know. Let's flip it and see. I don't think they're gonna do that, right? No, they may want you to think that, and with this here guy, you know, and the way his name is and his history, it would make you think, yeah, well, we're just gambling with everybody's future, and whatever card come up next, that's a just chance. I don't think it's like that, people. I think this here is being planned out meticulously by a couple agencies that are in control of this whole shebang since about Reagan, right? Since Reagan time, there's been, you know, an agency that pretty much took over the executive seat, executive branch of this government. And since then, that agency's been running things, period. Pretty much turned this country into a military installation. Whether you see it, whether you believe it or not. And they rather you not believe it, and they rather you not see it, because that's the best way for them to operate, is unseen, unknown. That way they can do what they do, and nobody know what they're doing. And that's what they want. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it logically, it sort of makes sense, right? I mean, just look at the way things are going right now, right? Everybody got their head stuck in their phone, which they make you pay for. You go somewhere, nobody talking to each other, nobody looking at each other. If you look at each other, it's like I'm looking at you like you're suspicious. I'm looking at you like you're funny, right? If I don't have a phone in my hand, I look like an outsider. God forbid I'm on a bus and I don't have a phone. People think that, hey, who this person? He look funny. He don't have one of those phones. His face ain't buried in that there phone. What's going on? So it make you wonder, like, what is really going on here with this scale back of North Korea? I think it has something to do with a few things, and it's usually a few things. It ain't just a one thing. This is the reason. It's usually a couple. Because hell, if you can kill a couple birds with one stone, then that's what you do. So yeah, I think it has something to do with his bank and you know, moving money here and there. They just got this charter to then open up a bank. That's a big deal, people. I don't know if you know, but a sitting president being allowed to charter and open his own bank is unprecedented. That is something that I believe only dictators wish they had the power to do. Wish. And so it's just walking us down this here road that every day it's like, yep, this is the road we're going down. Yep, I've seen it. Yep, this is where we're going. Everything is sort of leading and reinforcing this here choice of where we're going. You can't look at this country like we used to look at it, right? Like it's the government just running the government and the people just doing their thing. No, 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 no. It's not like that no more. It's the government basically running everything in this here country now. Everything. Right, wrong, or indifferent, good, bad. Hey, it's the way, right? And maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe we don't know. But being in it in the short term, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit worrying. No doubt about it. Right? No doubt about it. But maybe in the long run, I don't know. Maybe this could be something good for this country. Right? 50 year, 100 year. maybe it could be good for this country if we did that. And basically did away with democracy, pretending now we have a democracy, pretending we have a republic, pretending that we're benevolent power in this world, and just throwing that all away and said, hey, this here country is now dictatorship run by one family in perpetuity, and this family do whatever they want. This here the most powerful country, and everybody's on board with the same vision, everybody in the same boat, right? We don't have no more Democrat fighting Republican, no more red fighting blue, no more blue state, no more red state, everybody here together. Maybe that would be a good thing. Isn't that what everybody wants? Why don't we just stop fighting? Why can't just Republicans and Democrats agree? Why do we need to have all this here bickering and basically threatening this and that? The only way it's going to get fixed if everybody just say we're doing away with that there system and we're going to a brand new system. But the question is, who's going to run that system? That's the question. Are we going to run it like a mafia style type of way? Are we going to run it like a corporation type of way? Are we going to run it like it's a regular old dictatorship? Like, shit, we're going to have us running around, you telling on your neighbor, and body snatching in the middle of the night. And you go to here prison, and you're going to become now a prisoner of the state, working on whatever we tell you to work on. Sort of like in North Korea, you become a prisoner of the state, and then damn near 3 generations of your family is born into that there prison. And then maybe, 100 years they can throw the yoke of that there accusation off. Whether the accusation true or not, I don't know. Maybe that would be good. Maybe some people need that. Maybe they need the threat of that. Maybe they need that hanging over their head. I don't know. Maybe they need a gulag system in this country like they did back there with Stalin and Russia. Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But the way it's looking, is looking like we're heading down some type of road like that. Right, wrong, or indifferent, good, bad, evil, benevolent, who knows? But it's a scary thing, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So that's the way I see this here news. It's not really making a big splash, but I think it's a pretty big deal when you think about it, especially coupled with the news that he is now able to open his bank. He being Mr. Trump, they can now open a Trump LLC bank. No president, no dictatorship ever had that type of, reward. That there's something else. It's not making that much news either, that one. So those 2 pieces of news, I think, could be tied together if you look at it like that. Who knows? But anyway, that's what's going on here today. And, I thank you all for watching and listening to me speak on this. And we'll see how it turn out. Right? We'll see how it turn out. So, yeah, stay safe, stay free, and by golly, don't believe everything you see. Boston Cowboy here. Adios.